Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. I'm your host Mark and today we're taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Classics RamMan. This is the very first oversized figure for 2013 and I am so incredibly happy to finally have RamMan in my hands and on my toy shelf. This has been a figure that I have been looking for a very long time. Now, I'm not going to try to dwell on the fact that it's taken Matty Collector basically 4 years to get out a core character that should have been released in Wave 1 or no later than Wave 2, but I'm going to try to not focus on the negative and focus on the positive and just be so incredibly ecstatic that I finally have RamMan in my possession. So I said a while ago he was an oversized figure, and I know since there's no point of reference that this probably doesn't look any bigger than a normal figure you would get from Matty. But let me just move this out of the way just for a second. I'll move him over a little bit. I'm going to put up, here's Jitsu, who came today as well. So this is your standard Matty Collector He-Man package, and this is RamMan's package. As you can see, considerably larger, and as you can see, RamMan is considerably larger than Jitsu. So, man, I cannot wait to get this guy opened up and out of the package. But before we do, we're just going to take a quick look at the back. Man, this guy is huge. As you can see, we have some other core members. Man-at-Arms, Teela, He-Man, of course, Stratos. Buzz-Off, I'm not sure is a core member. Who would have I rather had up there instead of Buzz-Off? I don't know, maybe Mechaneck, I think, comes to mind as being more of a core member. I don't know, maybe Prince Adam? I don't know, I'm not sure. But anyway, as you can see right here, I won't take the time to read that. You can pause the video and read it yourself. But did not know that his original name was Crass. His real name is Crass. That's pretty cool. I'm sure he is himself crass and more than just name alone. So I cannot wait any longer. I've got to get this guy opened up and finally take a closer look at him. Okay, now we've got RamMan opened up and out of the package, and man, this is going to be a gush fest because like nostalgia is all over me right now because I love this guy. He came in today along with Jitsu, which you've probably already seen the review for that. And I gotta tell you, between the two of these guys coming on the same day and being released the same month, I'm just nostalgia overload is what's going on. So this is RamMan opened up and out of the package. And, you know, I was thinking while I was getting him opened up, I kept looking at his name where it's, you know, Crass. And I really like that it also sounds like Crash, which is kind of what he does. He, you know, pretty much crashes into everything. This guy is amazing. Now, what you couldn't see in the package are his other two accessories. One, his classic battle axe, which is represented very nicely here. And it actually does fit down in this hand. You can actually put it down in there. We'll get that down in there in just a minute. And also his second head sculpt, which I am so thoroughly happy that they included. This thing is amazing. We finally get a chance to see what he looks like with his helmet off. And apparently, even with his helmet off, he still has on a helmet. He's got this little wash pan on top of his head. I don't know if that's been permanently installed or if that's just his hat under a hat. I don't know, but that's pretty killer, even though it does kind of look like his face is sliding off his head. But man, what a great accessory. I can't wait to check him out with that head sculpt. Although, we all know that's not how he's going to live on my shelf. So let's get these out of the way real quick. See if we can get this axe in his hand. Yeah, it just pops right in. A lot easier than I thought it was going to be. The joints on this thing are crazy stiff. So be real careful if you guys get this figure. Be real careful like testing out all the joints and stuff. Mine were crazy tight, and I felt like several times I was going to break something. So just be very careful when loosening the paint and getting the joints all loosened up. So speaking of loose joints, I'm actually really surprised at how movable his head is. This outer part is a little softer plastic. It's not very soft. But it is movable somewhat to where you can get a little bit of, you know, where you're not going to actually scratch off paint. It'll actually has a little give. But, you know, he can look up and look down somewhat. I wasn't expecting with this helmet on that he'd get much range of motion, but he actually kind of can. I really like the big, enormous arms. I like that, and you know, really and truly, I think RamMan is going to be the reason why I don't think we're going to get too bad this year. I mean, Mattel seems to go on and on and on about their tooling budget, and whenever they have, and the fact that they can't make too many fully tooled, brand new figures that don't, reuse any parts from scratch. They can't do more than a couple of those a year. So RamMan may, I don't know if he was part of 2012's tooling budget, since he was supposed to come out in January but didn't come out until February because of shipping issues, or if he's going to count towards 2013's tooling budget. But because I know there's going to be a lot of parts on Too Bad that they can't reuse. But as you can see, every piece on RamMan is a fully tooled, brand new piece of leg and arm and shoulder and ankle and foot. So really, really glad to have this guy. As you guys can see on his back, he does have a little clasp to where you can store his weapon on his back, and because of his considerable size, there's no danger of really seeing it much from the front once it's installed on the back. But for range of motion, you do have, he does have the torso joint, which, they said in one of the earlier reviews that it wouldn't be hindered too much by his armor, and it's not, because this is kind of a soft plastic just like this is around his head, so it does kind of give. You do have have a waist swivel, which is really, really, really cool. But I think the most talked about piece of articulation that we're getting are the hidden knee joints. So thankfully the feet are not made together like our old classic figure was. And, finally for the first time we get a RamMan that can move his legs around. But what I really like, and I hope you can see this right here, is his hidden knees, which are inside. They're sort of hidden because of the way they're sculpted. They're hidden inside the springy part of his pants. So you can actually get a, kind of pose like he's walking or moving, which never been able to do this with a RamMan figure before. So, man, he just looks great. I really do wish that we had some sort of stand or something that that we were able to sort of display him in a his typical ramming pose. I think that would be great if we could do that. But let's see how hard it is to take this head off just from where we are. It's not too bad at all, actually. Kind of just pops right off. Let's see if we can get old Crass's head. Man, it's going to take some time getting used to that. Yeah, that pops on pretty easily. What you talking about? Yeah, nice. Nice. Kind of pops right on. Leaves a lot of collar sort of exposed. Just sort of a plain plasticky kind of bit there. But we all know we're not going to... This guy's not going to go on anybody's shelf like that. So let's see if I can zoom in here so you can see the sculpting inside the head. Maybe if I don't know if you can see that very well. There we go. So really nice face sculpt in there. It's exactly the same as the one over there. It looks like it doesn't matter whether he's got his helmet on ready to pounce or just standing around docile. He still has that sort of same smushed face look going on. So yeah, a lot easier to get on and off than the bigger head. Pop that right back on. Thanks, Maddie, for including this. This is a very nice inclusion, but going in the accessory bag for sure. So, man, I really like that axe, man. We gotta get that axe back out here. And for a size comparison, here's Rammy. All right, you gonna stand up? Here's RamMan, and we'll bring out He-Man. So, as you can see, they're really not too different in height. They're pretty much about the same. As a matter of fact, judging by eye line, it looks like RamMan's a touch shorter, actually. But as you can see, in sheer girth and bulk, he could be two of He-Man, or at least 1.5. But I really like that he's not taller and bigger in that regard. So let's get He-Man out of here. I just can't say enough about RamMan. Look at that belt. That is classic goodness right there. Wow. I gotta tell you, there's so many awesome toys that have come out this year. And, Masterpiece Soundwave being one of them. And we are getting some 1960s Batman stuff towards the later part of the year. But I got to tell you, RamMan here is an early contender for Figure of the Year in my book. This guy is just fantastic. So that's going to about do it for old RamMan here. And, if you guys dug the video, please like, comment, or subscribe. And be sure to join our conversation over at facebook.com/ungrownups. And also be sure to check out our podcast, which is new every 2 weeks. And you can listen to that and stream it right off ungrownups.com, or you can download it to your favorite device from iTunes. So for RamMan and me, Mark, this is going to about do it. And until next time, peace.